what words does somebody use if they're not sure if the action on their guitar is the way it should be? They come in and they say, "Hi Joe, I need a setup." Is that what a setup is? Or do they say, "Hi Joe, this is really, really hard to play. Is this the way it needs to be?"
So they say, Ellen Britton sent me in and told me that I need to get my guitar set up.
Okay.
And so what we do is two things. One is we look at the fundamental issues. Is the nut too high or too low?
Okay.
And we don't even need them to do that because there's a right and a wrong.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
There's no personal anything. Guitar repair people often act like there's a personal way the nut should be. It can have problems and create tuning problems, but the height of the strings there is just virtually absolute.
Okay.
The truss rod. We look at the truss rod.
So tell me, where is the truss rod? Because I know we can't see it, can we?
There may not be a truss rod in every guitar,
Well, let's pretend there is.
but when there is, it's underneath the fingerboard.
So it's like the backbone that you can't. It's inside.
It's either tightened here or it's tightened there.
There.
And it straightens the neck or allows it to be a little bit curved. A neck ideally wants a little bit of curve in it, and that curve goes along with the shape of the string when you're playing it. So the higher the action can be, the more the string can develop this sort of jump rope shape. In which case, the more relief you'd like in the neck, and bow relief, whatever you want to call it, is the same thing. So the harder attack drives action. If you hit hard, you want the action up. If you have the action up, that asks for more relief. Repair people often have a mojo. I've got my setup and stuff, but that's imaginary. The fact is, the string wants to see something. You hit the string, it wants to see nothing in the way.
Right.
No high fret. It wants the frets to be in a nice, even pattern, and ideally, if you put some curve in there, the less it will rattle. And then we look at how the person plays. We go, play for us a little bit, and if they go,
right,
we know they're going to need to set their action really low, or they just don't need it high. And if they're sitting there playing, they're headed into rockabilly, we know that their action's going to have to be set up
a little higher.
Also, you really need to think about the fact that as the seasons come and go, the wood changes. So in the winter, for the most part, in the winter, if you turn your heater on, it dries out the air. And if you take an acoustic guitar, for instance, and expose it to dry air, this little bit of rise in here that the strings put in, it's natural.
The belly, that's not a bad thing.
No, even quite a bit of it's not necessarily a bad thing. Until the guitar starts to self-destruct, it is not a bad thing. So in the wintertime, as wood dries out, the belly goes down. So the action, because...
Oh, so it's changing the action, of course.
Yeah, because wood expands across the width, not so much lengthwise. And so as it expands in the summers, it fills up with water, the action goes up. And in the summer, and in the winter, the opposite.
And the action goes down.
The action goes down.
So you should just assume that your guitar might need a little adjusting sort of as an ongoing thing, maybe once or twice, or whenever it bugs you.
Yeah, yeah. If it, Duke Ellington said about music, he said if it sounds good, it is good. And so if it sounds like something's wrong with it, there's a pretty good chance that something's wrong with it. And we're just as interested in doing nothing as we are interested in doing anything. So if somebody comes in and they play something, they go, is this right? Is this okay? I'd be happier if it's okay.
Yes, that's good. And I tell people that. This is why I send people to you. It's like, you here at Glaser Instruments, you'll never tell people they need something that they don't actually need. And I mean that, because I send you many people who've never been in a guitar shop. They've never had a guitar before. So it's like an auto mechanic kind of a thing. Like, you really need to trust the person that you're going to.